Hey friends, you're going to love today's show. A friend of mine, Duane Hughes, started a company called Aloe Apex, a product, aloe vera, but it isn't your grandpa's aloe, right? This is the whole leaf and the gel itself. And wait till you hear what it does for people. Mike has a comment on it during our segment. Then in the middle of the show, we're going to talk about coconut ghee. You've heard of butter, coconut ghee. I want to talk a little bit about, can the very drugs doctors are using to cure us actually induce or cause illness? And then finally, you've probably seen her all over television, Dr. Louise Gittleman, best-selling author, runaway bestseller, Fat Flush, all of those books. She's got a brand new one. She's a dear friend of mine. It's called Radical Metabolism. All that, and I assure you a whole lot more in the next 28 minutes, right here on Know the Cause. Today's Know the Cause is brought to you by Apex Health. Apex Health for life. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. If you do not already, you're going to fall in love with my guest right now. Many of you have spoken with him. You picked up the phone and you've said, Duane, Sarge. He was a sergeant in Vietnam in the Army the year before I went to Vietnam. You were 69, 70, I was 70, 71. Right. I was a Navy corpsman. We never met each other before a few years ago, and I'm telling you guys, this product, we're going to talk about aloe vera right now. This product has changed this man's world, but more importantly, your world. He and his wife met someone very influential in the business many years ago, a guy with integrity who said, no, we're not going to cut corners and take the prices down. We're going to leave it whole leaf and the gel. That's all in the product. Welcome, Sarge. Welcome, Duane.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. Do people really call and ask for Sarge?
They do, and they finally recognize my voice if I take a customer service call. And I try to stay as much in contact with our customers as possible and get the feedback.
Good for you.
Especially during the first launch year of our product, which was back in August here on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great, and they finally recognize, is this Sarge?
Sarge.
And I say, guilty.
If you can't remember his name.
And then it's funny because then they go, oh my gosh, I'm talking to Sarge. And I say, if you only knew.
This is the most wonderful, I'm not saying that because you guys are watching, this is the most wonderful audience in the world. They have been loyal, many of them, to Know the Cause for 19 years. And the cool thing about it is, Duane, they've watched you and I age. And I haven't missed a beat. I'm still here. As we age, we tend to look at supplements or medications. 220 million Americans look at supplements. But what Hippocrates said about this whole thing was totally different, isn't it? I'll put up this graphic that you brought in.
Yeah. Nature is the healer of disease. And Hippocrates said this 2,300 years, almost 2,400 years ago. Now, here we're getting back to it. What's interesting is that we've gone through this age of science where we have all these medical discoveries, and we find that we make antibiotics, and we make these drugs, and we treat the symptoms, and I've got this issue. Well, let's give you this drug. Let me write this out. We'll give you this drug, and the symptoms will go away. Well, the symptoms are really covered up. They're not really going away. Yep. And to cover them up means that whatever causes them is still going on in the body. Well, the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said that that nature is the healer, and in Ezekiel, in the Bible, way back in Ezekiel, a lot longer than 2,400 years ago, God said, let the fruit be for food and let the leaves be for healing.
The fruit of natural plants.
That's
let
right.
the fruit be for food, and the skins or the leaves for healing. And isn't that exactly what you've done?
Exactly what aloe vera is. Aloe vera is the leaf of the aloe vera plant, both the outer leaf and the inner gel, which have been processed to be absorbed into the body and take care of a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah. And by the way, congratulations. You and Sharon, 50 years you've been married. Were you married before you went to Vietnam?
3 months.
3 months, and then you got a draft note?
And I got drafted.
No way.
Yeah.
How did that fit on the marriage? Wow.
Well, it was a little tough. We lost that 2-year honeymoon period because I was in the Army and either in training or whatever, and then a year in Vietnam.
Congratulations. Now what Duane or Sarge and Sharon. Sarge and Sharon. Now, next time you come out, do bring Sharon, and let's do some shows with her. I would love to meet her and have the folks meet her.
You'll enjoy it.
Your love is endless. It's just, I so enjoyed talking with you. Why aloe vera? Why did you go this route? There's so many nutrients out there. Why aloe? Aloe
vera is a unique. We have another slide that has all the different things about aloe vera. It's been called the miracle plant, which it's been referred to as a pharmacy in a plant. And you can see why. I mean, here's 75 active ingredients of aloe vera. There's over 200 in the whole leaf and the gel together. But you can see it's got minerals, it's got enzymes, and so much more around the vitamins. And by the way, the vitamins, it's got 6 Bs, 6 of the B vitamins in it, and all the different, you can see all the different ingredients. Let's talk a little bit about the enzymes that are in aloe vera. We get these people that call in with these testimonies, and I think we're going to hear one later on in the show. I've had this stomach issue. I can't digest certain foods, whatever. I've had these issues, and I cannot seem to get rid of them. And I've taken all these different things, even enzymes and supplements, but just can't quite get it handled. The thing that happens with aloe vera is the aloe vera has 2 of these enzymes that are really key. And we're going to talk in another segment, I think, maybe.
Let's do this. Let's run to a break real quick.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about lipase and amylase.
Yes.
I mean, this is like a vitamin in a capsule, is what this is, aloe vera. So don't go away. We've got a great testimonial and then more time with, dare I say, Sarge when we get back. And welcome back, folks. We're talking with Duane Hughes, a.k.a. Sarge, about Aloe Apex. This is a product that is unique. It's different. It's not your grandpa's aloe, right? Well, it might be your great-grandpa's aloe when there was a leaf and there was gel, right? It's all come full cycle. It went kind of veered off a little with the quality of products, not this company, but others did, to save a few bucks. Now, aloe is back. Aloe Apex is the leader, in my humbled opinion, in this field. Thanks to this guy right here and Scott and other people that have been influential in your life. Thank God for them. We're talking about the constituents. Hey, Sarge, why does this seem to work so well for my stomach problems, my pain? Why is this working so well? So you take it from there.
Sure. Well, one of the things that we have found is that there's this biofilm that forms around the bad bacteria, and the bad bacteria is really what causes most of our problems. And we're finding out that the enzymes in aloe vera, specifically the amylase and the lipase, both have a very definite effect on breaking down the biofilm which forms around the bad bacteria, which prevents the good bacteria from actually destroying it. And that's the natural process. You have bad bacteria that gets out in your stomach, good bacteria, and antibiotics are a real big reason why we have the problems that we do with the bad bacteria. So to have these different enzymes actually break down the defense mechanism of the bad bacteria and allow the good bacteria to come in and take care of those problems balances your gut to where it should be to begin with. Because if we don't have the antibiotics and the things that cause the biofilm, we have a natural gut. So that's why when people take Aloe Apex, the aloe vera and the enzymes break down that biofilm, their gut starts to be like it should be, normalized, and they can eat what they want to eat or the things that they have had problems with before go away. So it's basically breaking down the defense mechanism of what's bad in your stomach.
If I had gastroesophageal reflux, you know, you lay down at night and it starts, I'd be on this like white on rice. The minerals, calcium, chromium, copper, selenium, magnesium, manganese, potassium, sodium, zinc. So those are micronutrients to help the aloe plant thrive, right? What happens when we humans take this? What if you had stomach problems like Mike did out in Mississippi? Let's go and listen to Mike right now.
My name is Mike. I'm from Lake Cormorant, Mississippi, and I've struggled with some digestive issues with the gut for about 4 or 5 years. And I've tried everything. A few things slightly helped, but I tried Aloe Apex, and it just worked greatly for me. I've been taking it for about a week or 2, and I've had no symptoms of what I've had for the previously 4 years. So it definitely did work, and I'm ordering more. Thank you.
You know, as I listen to those, I sit here and shake my head. This guy was suffering. This guy had been to the drugstores, had tried everything, and temporary relief was all he got. Now, a couple of weeks, he's doing great on this product. You think you could pry that out of his hands?
Yeah, probably not. You know, it's pretty nice to be able to get rid of something that you've had for years. I mean, I think Mike had it for 4 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what he said.
Other
4 or
people
5
for
years.
decades. But I mean, stop thinking about this, Doug. 4 years of your life where you absolutely had this every single day, and to have it gone, I mean, it's just so exciting.
It's so exciting, and yet people watching right now probably say, yeah, that was Mike. Could that be me? This isn't an expensive product. This is inexpensive to find out. And folks, generally after a bottle, he's had people who bought 10, 15 bottles of this. Why? When you find a good horse, you ride it. Now, how do they get the product?
Well, they can go to our website, which is alloapex.com/KTC, and they want to make sure they put /KTC because that gets them that 25% discount on their first order.
KTC being know the cause.
Yeah,
okay,
know the cause, right. So it's alloapex.com/KTC, or dial the 800 number, which is 833-554-5433. It should be on your screen. And that number gets them directly to the order center. Now, the order center is just that. They'll take your order, but if you have questions regarding medical issues or anything like that, we can't obviously address the medical issues, but we can answer questions about the product.
Sometimes they talk to you.
Occasionally I get the call, and it's fun to take the call, and I love talking to the customers. I mean, I actually happened to talk to Sandra, who we listened to on another segment, and also I actually did talk to Mike, and to hear the enthusiasm that comes across when the people have had such relief because of this product, it's just exciting.
It is exciting. Thank God for this product. Thank God for you and Sharon, you know, running this company. Why wouldn't you try it? What have you to lose? Thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Isn't this a great show? Over to the kitchen we go, and Lindsay's going to talk to you about coconut ghee, and then when we get back, I'm so lost. Do antibiotics help or hurt?
Move over, Margarine. We know when it comes to eating butter, there are much healthier alternatives. And one of the newest ones to hit the scene is coconut ghee. Coconut ghee is a combination of coconut oil and ghee. Now, there is still butter in ghee, but it is the clarified form. The milk proteins have been removed. Coconut ghee was created to give you all the amazing health benefits of the antifungal and healthy fats of coconut oil with a more delicate taste and the higher heat cooking capacities of butter. Genius! It's great for baking, sautéing, roasting, stir-frying, and more. A lot of people are using it because they don't get the overwhelming coconut flavor, but can still use their beloved coconut oil in their favorite recipes.
Folks, I've spoken with you a lot about antibiotics through the years, and I try and impose my knowledge on you, as Dr. A.V. Costantini did to me in 1998. He signed this book, autographed it for me, Breast Cancer, Hope at Last. It is one of the most genius books in the world about any type of cancer. This one's breast, he has another one, prostate, and so forth. But the book is just filled with knowledge about the role of fungus on cancer. As a matter of fact, and antibiotics. He says antibiotics are cancer. So before I go to what I want to talk to you about right now, and that is that antibiotics are inducing diseases now. We've known that. Chapter 10 in his book, Breast Cancer, Hope at Last, says this: are penicillin and other antibiotics carcinogenic in humans? Can they cause cancer? Certainly doctors would not believe such a risk exists for penicillin, an antibiotic given to billions of humans. However, it is by definition a mycotoxin, and mycotoxins do cause cancer. Bernstein and Ross, Doctors Bernstein and Ross, in their study of prior medication use and health history as a risk factor for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a type of cancer, found that greater than or equal to 2 months of penicillin or other antibiotics were associated with increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And of course, this came out in the 1990s. Since, I have found documentation that now links taking too many antibiotics. We're too infected. We go to too many doctors. We're given too many antibiotics to 5 different kinds, the most common cancers: breast, colorectal, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, lung, and prostate. I mean, it's amazing what antibiotics are doing. And just now, the medical community, and I love the way the pharmaceutical industry behaves here. Whoops, we didn't have any idea. We just thought we were killing bacteria. That was good in the 1950s and 60s, but guys, we supposedly have matured beyond that. So I want to teach you. This is interesting. Antibiotics, the same thing we're talking about now, and their ability to induce 5 different types of cancers, found to weaken body's ability to fight off diseases. Antibiotics weaken my immune system? I thought they built my immune system. Of course, that was the logic, folks, and medicine has changed. These aren't bad people. These are really smart people. But the times, they are a-changin', okay? I quoted this study. University of Virginia researchers have, and here's my quote, found another reason, for doctors to avoid the overuse of antibiotics. They should have done that all along. Antibiotics are fungal poisons that kill bad bacteria, but they interfere with the immune system's ability to fight off diseases. Okay, folks, here's the exciting thing. This came out of a medical journal. Your doctors might read this, and instead of handing you an antibiotic, again, double my IQ, really smart, really good people. But sometimes I feel like doctors have to prescribe. I one time sat down with a policeman and said, is it true you guys got to give a quota of tickets by the end of the month? And he said no. And I might be wrong on this. Is it true that doctors have to prescribe so many prescriptions in a month to keep their license? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a nefarious relationship. I just worry that they're handing out drugs like they're going out of style to those who will accept them. I'm the guy who is undoctored. I'm the guy who says I want to be fully responsible for that headache or that joint pain or whatever it is, and I want to know what induced it. So getting back to this, antibiotics can induce diseases. Now, the next graphic I think is fascinating. Wait a minute, cancer's a disease. Could antibiotic drugs induce cancer? The frequent use of antibiotics significantly increases the risk of, and by the by, I give this slide, I teach this at every lecture I give to doctors. Antibiotics increase the risk of prostate, lung, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, breast cancer, and colorectal cancer. It's no more guesswork, folks. The more times you go to a doctor, and in a doctor's office, you're going to get a prescription. When it isn't one of these statin drugs, then it's a blood pressure drug, and if it's not that, it's an antibiotic because, you got an infection somewhere in your body. Can we defeat infections without antibiotics? I could do a whole show on that. I've had to do that, folks. I've absolutely had to do that myself many times. Here's the take-home message. Talk to your doctor. Ask him if you can change your diet, start juicing, take natural antimicrobials instead of antibiotics. One round isn't going to hurt you. It's when it becomes a whole lot of rounds that it might hurt you. It's just so exciting to bring you folks, a lot of new viewers. Welcome WGN and all the new networks we're on. The show is called Know the Cause, Understanding Why You're Sick. It's such an honor to introduce to many of you for the first time Dr. Louise Gittleman. I first read of Dr. Gittleman in the 1980s in a journal that she was publishing in, and she said, be careful of grain, and I almost fell out of my chair. Here was a real PhD that was saying, be careful of bread, because everyone had just shot at me when I said, don't eat grains. And you were saying, no, it's okay to go off grains. So welcome after 30, 40 years of loving your writings, your books. She's the Fat Flush doctor who wrote that, New York Times bestselling author and so forth. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
What I want to talk about, because we did some demographics, we have an aging female audience.
Like me.
Right. Well, I'm aging, just not female. Teach us where the calls are coming from, what people are asking you, what women are wanting to know about the aging process. What concerns them most?
I think it's a slowdown of metabolism. I think it's really a halting of the metabolism. It's a problem with the thyroid, no gallbladders, the inability to break down fats as well as detoxify and get rid of excess hormones.
Even that word detoxify is controversial. I'll never forget 2020 or one of those big shows ran a detox show. And then they had doctors from prominent universities sitting there rubbing their chins, smoking meerschaum pipes and saying, we're not toxic. Really? What's a side effect of a medication? if we're not toxic. So you open that door too in your Fat Flush and other books. I'm really excited about your upcoming Radical Metabolism. They can pre-order that book. Teach us a little bit about what that says.
Well, it's all about those women like me that are younger women as well as those that are aging, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s who can't lose weight or are notoriously slow losers. And that's because of all the assaults on the thyroid. That's because of the problems with the glyphosates, the gluten that really do a slowdown to the metabolism, as well as those people that are not eating the fats that you should never stop eating, the omega-6s. So we put them on a program. There's a 4-day intensive. There's a 21-day kind of reboot. And individuals lose weight, whether they're male or female, quite frankly. Women also find that they have no more PMS, menopausal or perimenopausal issues, and they can detoxify for the first time. And with all the toxins in the air, the wind, the fires, the problems with what you're breathing in this day and age, detoxification is a daily event. It's not a seasonal affair anymore.
I did a live Facebook show last night. Was amazed at the questions I get. You know, they text me in these questions. A couple of them dealt with, gee, Doug, it really does get down to diet, doesn't it? And how little our physicians know. Does that frustrate you with all your credentials?
Not anymore, because people are reading so much and are becoming so involved in taking charge of their own health, which I'm so delighted about, because it's really up to you in terms of taking charge of your health. But it isn't just diet, it's diet and detox. And that's where the liver comes in handy. That's where the gallbladder is so important, even if you don't have one. I'll teach you what to do in Radical Metabolism. And that's where the thyroid is so important, because it takes a hit with all the toxins in the air, the fire, the wind, the environment, in terms of what goes on in the medications, because all that can slow down your system.
Yeah, and it's a hormonal flux. What happens at, menopause or premenopause is a real state of change inside a woman's body. And sometimes what I hear most is, what happened to this weight? Why all of a sudden am I gaining weight? Was it estrogen that was keeping my weight off?
Well, it was a lack of progesterone that was actually keeping the weight on. So it's a lack of progesterone to balance the extra estrogen. And it's everything I talk about in Radical Metabolism.
Okay. Now, I must ask this. Fungus, a problem? I mean, this is where we go back so many years.
Fungus brought us together. Yes, indeed.
Thank you for writing what you have on it. It does present a problem, along with bacteria and other organisms, viri and so forth.
It's part of the toxic load, and I find that when we can elevate your ability to handle the heavy metals, the parasites, the radiation, and the fungus, your body is then able to handle the hormones. So it all goes together, and the longer you live, the more you become a toxic waste dump. So that's the reason you need to diet and detox on a daily basis.
That's such an ugly image.
I know.
But it's true, isn't it? Because we get sick, and our joints don't work, and we get depressed and so forth.
Toxins.
I had the opportunity to look in advance at this book, Radical Metabolism. You need this book. You need to study, read this book, and follow its guidelines for optimum health. Thank you, Dr. Gittleman, for
My
coming.
pleasure.
Okay, coconut ghee, antibiotic-induced illness, Dr. Louise Gittleman, and now Aloe Apex. Folks, when you call the company, there's the toll-free number. When you call the company, you may want to talk to Sarge. Hey, Sarge, Duane, he was on today. Hey, Sarge, Doug told me we might be able to get a discount on this, okay? Folks, thank you for being with us. Thank you also for telling your friends about Know the Cause. You are responsible for this show's success. God bless you. Bye-bye.